obsessed with Gibbsy. I just love Joey. I'll start crying again. And it's nice to like let out tears. It just keeps going and going and going. Was so confused. Hi you guys, it's Kendall here. Today I'm super excited about the video that we're going to be doing because we're going to be doing a 24-hour readathon, and I'm not going to split this in between. I'm going to try to do this entirely throughout. So like currently it's 7:26. I'm going to try to do it till 7, whatever it is, a.m. tomorrow. This is like my first time ever doing this. I love Destiny's videos on these, and so I was like, okay, I'll try and give it a go. As you can still hear, I am still a little bit sick. I'm like sick again with something else entirely. I'm at the very end of it though, so I'm hoping it doesn't affect this video at all. Just my voice is not going to sound the same. It sounds like really nasally right now. So I already started on Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I'm 132 pages in, and I think this book is like 650 pages, so I still have like a lot to go. I do think this book will take me the longest out of all the books I'm thinking of reading. This is a long challenge, and I kind of just want to read what I want to read. I don't want to make this like a theme or anything. So I'm about to take my dog on a walk though, so I have the audiobook of this, so I'm going to start the challenge listening to the audiobook, and then when I get back, I'll start reading the actual physical copies. I have my timer set for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, and we'll start right now. So I'm currently about an hour and a half in. I just listened to my audiobook, and I don't really listen to my audiobooks at like a super fast rate. So when I checked my book, I only got like 33 pages in an hour and a half. I usually read like 50 pages an hour, so I'm a little bit more behind than I would have liked to be by this point. Now it's 9, and I'm going to just sit and read the book. I'm going to try to get halfway through the book before I go and do anything else. It's currently, let's see, even 10:49. I'm about almost 3.5 hours in. I'm still reading Keeping 13. I'm currently on page 245, so I have about a little less than 400 pages left of the book. So far, it's really good. It was same with Binding 13 and now with Keeping 13. I'm like obsessed with Gibbsy, and like in this book they're showing more of like Gibbsy and Claire, and I know his book is what, the 5th book in the series, so there's 2 more after this that I need to read to get to that book. So I'm like kind of upset because I want to read their book so bad. I've heard like it isn't as good as the other books. I'm going to try to not let other people's opinion affect my reading experience when I do get to that book, because I want to go in with the thoughts that the book is going to be like one of the best, hopefully. While this book is like does address a lot of the same hard topics as the last one, so far it's easier to read than like the last book, because right now it's so many happy things have been happening. Like, with the last book it was like happy, sad, happy, sad. Every chapter was like a happy moment, then a terrible moment. This one, the past few chapters have all been like super happy. Anyways, so far super good. I think I'm just reading this book slower because the book is like bigger comparatively to other books, and the font is so small in this, y'all. So now I'm going to go to the gym and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook when I go and do that. So it's 10:50 right now. Probably go work out for an hour and then I'll be back with an update. I am on page 313 and I just love Joey. Like, I just said that. It's funny because my last check-in I was obsessing over Gibbsy, and now here I am obsessing over Joey. The whole chapter with Joey just made me laugh. Like, it's not a funny chapter, but just how Joey reacts to like his trauma is like just like super relatable. I love it. I cannot wait to finish this book, and I'm not gonna start his book today, but probably like next week. It's currently 12:53. I have 18 hours, 35 minutes, and 33 seconds left. So I'm almost 6 hours in. I'll probably read for another hour, I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna go and get some coffee. Hi guys, so I am back. It's currently almost 2 right now. And I was able to find an audiobook on YouTube, so I'm going to listen to that while I cook lunch. And then after I finish eating, maybe I'll go get coffee then. I still feel really good, like energy-wise, so I don't want to get the coffee too early. I'm going to start cooking and then I'm going to be listening to my audiobook. So I have a little less than 16 hours left, and I'm only on page like 420. I am at the point now where I'm reading and I'm like dozing off. So I think I'm gonna go to Dunkin' and get an iced vanilla latte. Hopefully that can get me out of this like little slump I'm getting into. It's 3:30. I'm hoping I can finish the rest of the book by 5:30, and then hopefully I can move on to something else. I feel like I've been reading this book for so long. Part of me is tempted to like take a break with this book and open another one and then come back to this one later. I don't know, I'm up in the air. I'm gonna go clear my mind and get coffee, and then I come back, I'll give an update and see if I'll keep reading this book or switch it up. So everything was good and happy, and I thought it was going to go one way, but then just everything hit the fan and I've been crying. And like, I'll cry and then I'll stop crying. I'm like, okay, and then some more stuff is being said, and then I'll start crying again. I did not expect to cry in this book, because I didn't cry in the last book, not really. I'm like in my feels right now, and I'm trying not to cry because I got coffee in my system and I feel much better, but when I cry it makes me sleepy, but I can't help it. It's currently 5:41. I have 13 hours, 48 minutes, and 33 seconds left. And I'm on page 514. With all that's happening, I think I'll finish the second half faster than the first, especially like these last 100 pages. It's funny because I thought Binding 13 was like really good, and I still think that, but this book is just like so good, like better than Binding 13 was, I think. I also just love a book that can make me cry. I did not expect it. It was not on my radar for today's readathon. It made me really sad. I won't talk about what happened, but I just cried and for a while. And now I got it together, and then I was able to record this, but I'll check in, I think, when I finish the book. as much as I'm like enjoying this book, maybe it's because I've been reading it all day, but it just won't like end. It just keeps going and going and going, and I'm like, oh, it could have ended there, and it could have ended there. And there are some points where I'm like, I understood, but now knowing that like she's already planning on making another book with them, I'm like, she could have put some of the stuff in the next book. I don't know. I really do like this story, and I think I like the story better than the last one, but because it's dragging so much, I actually think I'm going to rate this one lower when it comes down to it. When I finish, like literally, I should be done by now, y'all. It's 7:51. I've been reading for over 12 hours of this book. I'm on page 602, and it should have ended like a few chapters ago. I don't know. That's my update for now. Hopefully next time I check in, I'm either done with this book or I started a new book or something. So it's currently 8:37 and I have 10 hours 52 minutes left. I finished Keeping 13. While I think a lot of this was needed like towards the end, while I think that, I still think a little bit of trimming could be done with it. I think this book was great though. The fact that, like, why it was longer was because unlike Binding 13, I feel like Keeping 13 was when she really decided, hey, I'm going to make more books with these other characters. And so she added a lot more backstory or like little hints about a lot of the other characters, like Gibbsy and Huey and Lizzie. Here are the 3 books that I'm stuck between for reading next. The first book is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. The second book is Holly Black, The Stolen Heir. I'm kind of considering this one because I do have it in audiobook format and it's getting late, so I think that would come in handy if I get tired for like giving me a break. And then the last one is One Star Romance by Laura Hankin, I think is how you say it. I just have heard a lot of reviews about, I've heard a lot about this book on Book Talk, and so I'm just like curious and I want to see how I think of the book. It is currently 12:30 about. I have 7 hours left of this challenge. I am on page 122 of The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, and I'm getting like really tired. I keep dozing off even though I'm literally putting on all the lights in my house. So I don't know how much I'm going to last. The book's good so far, but I just keep like dozing out, so I keep forgetting like what's happening. I don't know, I might have to call it quits soon. It's still up in the air. I'm gonna try to push through a little bit longer, and hopefully get another second wind. But yeah, currently I am dozing off. But crazy, I've already made it like 17 hours. So far it's really cute, but I don't think I'm liking it as much as like the Cruel Prince trilogy. Just a few thoughts for now, and I'll check in hopefully soon. So I failed. It's been a few days since I have filmed, so it's a little bit hazy on like when I actually stopped filming. I think it was around 1:30 and I ended up falling asleep actually. As y'all could see in that last clip, I already was like dozing off before that. Like my eyes are super red, so yeah. It's my first time trying to do that, and I go to bed pretty early, like 9 or 10. I was actually surprised I made it as long as I did, especially reading all day, like looking at words all day long. It's tiring. It made me really tired. When the next day I felt like hungover. Like that's how tired I was. So let's get into the books. The book I did finish, we'll start with first, is Keeping 13. Like I said during the reading vlog portion of it, this book kept me more entertained more than Binding 13 did. Maybe because Binding 13 was such a slow burn, this one was better because they were pretty much together by that point, right? I was just more drama with the family. I cried in it, and I really like books that can make me cry because that doesn't happen that often. And it's nice to let out tears, I guess. I will say, with how slow it was at the end, to me, it just dragged a lot. I don't know if it's as high as Binding 13. I think I'll still give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Initially I was thinking 4.5 out of 5, but I will be honest, if I give this a 4.5 out of 5, then I can't give Binding 13 a 5 out of 5 because I was way more entertained, I feel reading this book. So I'll stick with a 5 out of 5 star for Keeping 13. I can't really talk about what this book is about because then I'll be spoiling it, right? But Keeping 13 is the second book in the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. It just is a continuation of what happened, the cliffhanger. The big cliffhanger that happens in the first book, it continues from that point forward, and yeah. So when I finished this book, it was still on my mind a lot. I just really wanted to move on to the next book, but I was you know what? I need to read books that I think I can finish for this reading challenge. So instead of picking up the next book in this series, I picked up The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is a book about Surin, and she grew up in a mortal household, with humans. And when she's growing up, fairies come to her house, and they turn Surin back into her fairy-like form, because she's not only a fairy, but also the daughter of the queen of the Court of Teeth. So she's next in line. And during her time at the Court of Teeth, she hates it. She just wants to be back to her family, but she looks completely different and I guess scary. So she doesn't think she'll be welcome back either. So she ends up fleeing and becoming feral in the woods. And that is when Oak finds her. So after Oak finds her, she is super surprised because she was actually promised to Oak in marriage when she fled. Oak asks her to come along with him, I'm pretty sure that's what happens, and they go on this big mission. I only got about 150 pages in. So I can't really talk about how my thoughts on the book because I didn't ever finish it. Even in the days that have passed, I've actually finished 2 books. I finished Saving 6 because obviously that was still on my mind after I finished Keeping 13. And then I also finished The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I'm going to come out with a September wrap-up, so I'll talk about those there. I love the Cruel Prince series, and I know I've said this earlier in the video, but this it doesn't give me the same feelings that I got during that book. I really do like the characters, it just doesn't draw me in as much. Also, I'll make a disclaimer right here for this book too. I genuinely do think you need to reread the Cruel Prince series if you haven't before reading this book, or if it's been a while, because I was reading this and it was already late, right? And I'm just was so confused. I was who are these characters? I kind of remember Court of Teeth, and I'm trying to remember how Oak is related to the girls. I already read a lot that day. I just wanted to read a book where I didn't have to think, you know? And I can't really rate this book, I guess, but while I was reading it, I was oh, this kind of feels like a 3-star book, but I'm not gonna label it that yet because I never actually finished it. But that was just what I was feeling, not even halfway through. So those were my thoughts on Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh and The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. Sorry you guys for the failed video. I really am considering doing another one of these videos sometime. So please comment down below if you guys want to see it again. I don't mind trying it out and hopefully either accomplishing it or making it further than last time. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!